7 young men hid in a cave to escape execution for their faith. When they woke up, they thought it had been a day. It had been over 300 years. This is one of the signs mentioned in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Kahf, the chapter of the cave. It's the story of a group of young believers living in a city ruled by a king who demanded absolute loyalty, not just to his throne, but to the idols he worshipped. These young men believed in one God, and in that city at that time, saying so out loud could cost you your life. They didn't recant. They didn't hide in plain sight and hope no one noticed. Instead, they made a decision that still challenges people today. They walked away from everything familiar, family, comfort, safety, and fled to a cave in the mountains outside the city, choosing the unknown over compromising what they believed. The Quran describes their prayer as they entered. Our Lord, grant us mercy from yourself, and prepare for us right guidance in our affair. Inside the cave, exhausted, they lay down to rest. With them was a dog, Khitmir, stretched out at the entrance, keeping watch. And then, Allah caused something to happen to them that they had no way of anticipating. A sleep fell over them. Not an ordinary sleep. The Quran tells us Allah turned their bodies to the right and to the left, so the earth wouldn't decay them where they lay. Their eyes were open, giving the appearance of wakefulness. Though they were completely asleep, anyone who came across them would have been struck with fear at the sight, as if standing before something not entirely of this world. Time, for them, simply stopped mattering. When they finally woke, nothing about them told them any time had passed at all. They turned to each other and, as people do after any ordinary rest, began to wonder how long they'd actually been asleep. We have been here a day, or part of a day, some of them said. Others weren't even sure of that much. In the end, they agreed on something simple. Your Lord knows best how long you remained. They were hungry, so they chose one of their group to go quietly into the city, buy food, and come back without drawing attention, because if the king's men recognized them, they knew exactly what would happen. He took their silver coins and made his way down from the cave, expecting to see the same city he'd left. He did not. The gate looked different. The streets looked different. When he tried to pay for food with his coin, the merchant turned it over in his hands, confused. It was ancient, a currency from centuries before, not something that had been in circulation in living memory. Word spread fast. A young man, dressed like someone from a story, carrying money that belonged to another age entirely. People didn't know whether to be afraid of him or fascinated by him. Eventually, the truth caught up to everyone at once. The king who had threatened them was gone. His entire generation was gone. Over 300 years, by some accounts, 309, had passed since the 7 of them had walked into that cave believing it might be their last night alive. They had not lost a day. They had crossed centuries. The Quran is direct about why this account exists. It wasn't only to tell an extraordinary story. It was to settle a question the people of that era were arguing about. Whether resurrection after death was even possible. If Allah could preserve 7 young men, asleep, unaged, for over 300 years, and then wake them exactly as they were, what argument was left against the idea that He could raise the dead? There's something else in this account, easy to miss under the scale of the miracle. Before any of it happened, before the sleep, before the thirst, before the coin, before the sign, there was simply a choice. 7 young men chose to walk toward the unknown, rather than compromise what they believed. Everything after that was not in their hands at all.